North Korea might actually give up their nuclear weapons. I know what you're thinking, right? No, there's no way. Kim Jong-un is insane. He'll never give up his nuclear weapons. But wait a minute. There is a possibility. Generally, I do agree with that assessment, but there is a possibility. Let me give you the story here. This is from the New York Times. North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, has reportedly told South Korean envoys that he is willing to begin negotiations with the United States on abandoning its nuclear weapons, and that it would suspend all nuclear and missile tests while engaged in talks. If this is true, this is big. Oh man. Now they said that during the envoy's 2 days visit to Pyongyang, the North capital, which ended on Tuesday, the two Koreas agreed to hold a summit meeting between Mr. Kim and President Moon Jae-in of South Korea on the country's border in late April. Now, this meeting, of course, would basically begin the talks of denuclearization in the area, which would be fantastic. Now, the statement said the North Korean side clearly stated its willingness to denuclearize. It made clear that it would have no reason to keep nuclear weapons if the military threat to the North was eliminated and its security guaranteed. Now, this brings me back to the idea of why North Korea has nuclear weapons in the first place, and why Iran was seeking nuclear weapons as well. It's to protect themselves from us. I know it's a weird mindset when you think about it, but put yourself in the shoes of another country, if you would. Here you got America that loves to interfere in other countries. We interfere in elections. We overthrow dictators all the time. We went into Iraq. No reason to go into Iraq. They didn't attack us. We didn't like their leader, though. We didn't like Saddam Hussein. So we went in there in the pretense of freedom and weapons of mass destruction, and we overthrew a government that we had no real reason to overthrow. We just didn't like him. We have a tendency to get involved in other countries. So, knowing our track record of just going in and all of these countries had one thing in common. They didn't have nuclear weapons. They didn't have a way to deter America from going in all imperialist on them. Now North Korea has those weapons. Iran has those, is working towards those weapons. Well, not anymore, since we actually did make a deal with Iran. But nonetheless, if you have those weapons, that's a pretty big deterrent for America to not invade you. So it would make sense that this nation, which look, barring all the other things, right? Because, you know, North Korea is a huge repressive regime. It's despicable what they're doing to their people, on and on and on. You couldn't have enough bad things to say about the ruling party in North Korea and Kim Jong-un. At the same time, it's not our job to go and invade and liberate every country. And that's the problem that I see with America's foreign policy. We see ourselves as the liberators of the world, but every country we end up touching gets worse. Again, Iraq's a great example. Libya is another great example. We topple the dictator, and then what? We end up creating a power vacuum without understanding the intricacies of different factions inside, and I'm speaking to Iraq specifically. We end up creating ISIS and Al-Qaeda hit the vacuum. They filled that vacuum that we created. In Afghanistan, is anything better in Afghanistan now? No, corruption is incredibly pervasive within the government of Afghanistan. The Taliban still exists. What are we doing there? What were we doing there? What did we go out to, what did we actually achieve in all this? I know what we achieved. We made some defense contractors extremely wealthy. That was the only thing that we have actually achieved in all of these different military adventures. So, yes, it would make sense, seeing America's track record, that a country would go, okay, let's nuclearize to make sure that we do not get invaded by America. That's the North Korean position. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying that it's understandable from their perspective. That said, I actually love this admission by North Korea saying, yeah, you know what? We are actually thinking about denuclearizing as long as we make sure that America is not going to invade us. And believe me, that is the last thing I want us to do. And I would hope that that's the last thing the American people want to do, because we are tired of endless war. We are tired of endless conflict. And we would like to avoid these conflicts. Now, if the statement, and I'm going back to the New York Times here, if the statement is corroborated by North Korea, it is the, I believe I already said that. Okay, so now let's go to President Trump's reaction. Oh no, oh boy. He said on Twitter, of course, possible progress being made in talks with North Korea. For the first time in many years, a serious effort is being made by all parties concerned. The world is watching and waiting. Maybe false hope, but the U.S. is ready to go hard in either direction. Now, at first I was like, did Trump write that tweet? And then at the end, it's like, oh yeah, he wrote it. No, we're ready to go hard. No, let's not go hard. I mean, let's go hard for peace. I'm all for that. And look, if we end up getting peace with North Korea under the Trump administration, I don't know how much he has to do with anything, but it would be a wonderful thing. It would be a wonderful achievement. Now, and I think it's because, honestly, the United States was not quite as involved. And that's, of course, look, again, that's another reason that we should not be the world's policeman and try to inject ourselves into all these different affairs. Because it was South Korea and North Korea that said, hey, you know what? Let's go and let's talk. Okay, let's open up some discussion, because America, look at what America's doing. They do not have our best interests at heart under this idiot moron of a president. So let's go and let's talk about this. And you know what? It might actually lead to some results. Now, there's just a problem of, hopefully Trump doesn't go and fuck it up. Now, that's the thing. And look, we should be skeptical of North Korea. If you're saying that, oh, come on, Jeff, you're too trusting. He is Kim Jong-un. He's going to renege on this promise. Look, I get it. And I am skeptical. But if this happens, this could be a big win. But we should, of course, be cautious in dealing with Kim Jong-un, but also try to find some way to create a real, lasting peace. Now, the article finally says, Washington remains deeply skeptical of any attempt by the South to improve ties with the North without progress on denuclearization. Although Mr. Moon wants inter-Korean dialogue, he has said that the two initiatives must move in parallel and has been urging the United States and North Korea to start negotiations on the nuclear program. So again, what we need to do is actually go in there with a bit of an open mind and make sure that we do what we can to try and negotiate in good faith. Now, there's a lot of people in the region, a lot of countries in the region that are also very skeptical. Japan, naturally very skeptical of North Korea, of course, and totally understand that. And there, again, other countries in the region, but we've got to at least try. If we can denuclearize North Korea and then watch them afterwards, of course, that would be a huge step in moving us back away from the precipice of nuclear war. And that would be a great thing. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.